Hey guys, Claire here. In today's video, we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Now, Harry and Meghan's documentary has helped to push Netflix UK sales onwards and upwards, which I suppose flies in the face of all those articles from the UK tabloids saying that, according to their polls, people wouldn't be watching the docuseries. Or all of those royalist trolls online saying that they would cancel their Netflix subscriptions because of Harry and Meghan, which is not surprising because remember they said the same thing about the Oprah interview, even though it broke all sorts of records in terms of viewership in the UK. They said the same thing about Harry's book Spare, and of course that broke all sorts of records, including the Guinness World Records. So there is a huge disparity between what the UK tabloids and royalist trolls say and what the statistics and facts actually are. So there's that. Also, Meghan narrated a beautiful video for the collaboration between the Fisher House Foundation and the Invictus Foundation, so that was wonderful to see.
To remind us above all else, in this international family, no one gets left behind. Because this is Invictus. We are Invictus. Together.
So I want to start by thanking the Duchess. She made her way to Fisher House to visit with a bunch of our families, and she gets families. She is the spouse of a veteran. She has 2 small children, and she knows what it means to be a family, and she knows and understands these families. So her incredible commitment to the family program, we are grateful for, and her continued efforts to ensure that they get the recognition that they need as well. So thank you.
Now we have seen Harry and Meghan in New York City today. As I'm recording this, it's September 10th. And it was really nice to see that they have beefed up security and even got a police escort this time around. So good. I'm happy that they're safe and we're able to carry out all of the meetings and engagements for today. Now, their first stop was to the Marcy Lab School, and it was really interesting to hear the comments from the co-founder of the school as well as other students who got to meet Harry and Meghan.
Taj, Amy, and other fellows in this class started the program just a few weeks ago, and she was sharing what she's grateful for as part of the school's daily rituals.
I'm very happy that they came to see us. It means a lot. Like, it really gives us inspiration, honestly.
Now, Meghan wore a varsity Letterman jacket, which was given to her by the students of the Robert Clark School in 2020. I believe that was one of her final engagements as a senior working royal. So it was nice to see her wear that jacket on today's engagement at the Marcy School. Then, of course, we got to see Harry and Meghan at the summit, which was hosted by Carson Daly, and the conversations were incredibly inspiring. One of the videos that I really enjoyed was the way Meghan sort of compared the gradual increase of safety features to vehicles, right? And liken that to the need for ever progressing safety features for social media. And let's not forget that the summit was really full of parents who had lost their children in fallouts dealing with social media. So, of course, talking about adding safety features to protect our young ones is a huge deal. And I generally enjoyed this entire panel. It was really great to see the U.S. Surgeon General was also in attendance, and I even saw that he gave Harry and Meghan a nice little hug at the end of the summit. It was also a little funny to hear Carson referred to Meghan as a badass woman, and yes, she is. I totally agree. Now for the lighter aspects of today's visits, I really enjoyed Meghan's off-the-shoulder blazer look, and of course within hours, or was it like within an hour, that blazer had sold out. Now I've seen some squatties on Twitter, or is it X, provide different dupes that have a similar look for a smaller price tag, so if you're interested in that, I'm just going to add it to the screen as well. But yeah, it's crazy how quickly things sell out when Meghan wears them. Now, I also saw some photos of people who were in attendance, showcasing some of the Archewell merch, and also seeing some people on Twitter saying, well, wait a minute, okay, we've been seeing merch for the past year or so. Why is this merch not available to the public? We want to get that merch. We want to buy it. What's going on? So overall, I'd say it was a very successful summit and overall trip to New York City. And I love that Harry and Meghan has not allowed the last visit and the whole situation with the paparazzi to dissuade them from going back to New York, from doing the things that they really love to do, that they're really passionate about. And I love that about them. Meghan is one of the most trolled women in the world. And she continues to show up with style, with grace, and with purpose and a passion. And I feel like that can be an inspiration to us all to remember. Sometimes you gotta put the blinders on and just keep moving forward with a smile on your face and with passion and a purpose in your heart. So I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
Today is World Mental Health Day, and this is a day that is going to be marked with engagements from both branches of the British royal family. Both Will and Kate and Harry and Meghan have taken on this role of championing mental health in the past few years. Rather than comparing the work that they do today, I'm going to discuss each of their engagements in 2 separate videos. And the reason I'm going to do that is kind of personal for me. In this video, we're going to talk about Will and Kate, who announced last week that they would be marking World Mental Health Day with a forum in Birmingham for young people to start conversations about how young people manage their emotions. Here's a photo of them from that engagement today, and for me, knowing that this appearance was coming up all weekend put me in this place where I was really conflicted about how I was going to handle my commentary today. Because I'm not a journalist, I'm not a reporter, but if I was reporting for an official news outlet, I would probably excuse myself from reporting on Will and Kate when it comes to mental health initiatives. I personally cannot untangle them and their roles from the mental health abuse that their fans engage in. Abuse that is, of course, launched at Meghan Markle as like a hobby, but also abuse that extends to people like me who are open about not wanting to be, I don't know, racist about her. That has led for the past like 2 years to people in online communities professing to be fans of Will and Kate, telling lies about me, threatening me, harassing me, mocking me, all things that are pretty detrimental to one's mental health. If you've ever picked up on the fact that I might be not entirely objective when it comes to my treatment of Will and Kate versus Harry and Meghan, this is why, because I'm sympathetic to the fact that Meghan has gone through those exact same things. And unfortunately, I cannot detach Will and Kate from that behavior. I know that they're not the ones launching that abuse, but they've never denounced it. It is an active choice at this point to not denounce harmful behaviors that perpetuate poor mental health. Their event today was focused on particularly young people to discuss the importance of managing our emotions and building supportive relationships. Kate's outfit today, this is a repeat blazer, but the yellow I think was an intentional choice. As the organization that they've worked with in the past, Young Minds UK, has called for people to wear yellow on World Mental Health Day to, quote, show young people that they are not alone. Which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with this as a royal engagement. But I also need us to kind of recognize that this type of work is kind of where the royals' influence in this sphere stops. They, I'm sure, think that they can't denounce abusive behaviors that impact mental health, because that would be seen as stirring up drama because they're personally involved in it. But for me, who's been at the receiving end of it, I cannot detach the fact that Harry and Meghan were begging for support while Meghan was pregnant and did not receive it. And now, a few years later, Will and Kate, besides just encouraging mental health conversations among young people, people. They're also discussing things like mental health for pregnant women, for mothers. The irony there, it's just you can't address it in your own home, but you can tell other people that they need to take it seriously. That's why, for me, I can never see Will and Kate's mental health advocacy just on face value. I wish I could be there with them in just acknowledging the importance of these conversations and let it be that. But because I know there will be people cheering Will and Kate on today saying, oh, this is such an important topic, they're such heroes for speaking out about it, who will then turn right around and say hateful things about Meghan Markle or about me. Like, I know those people exist. It's just left me really activated, I guess is the word. Charity starts at home, right? So in order for me to ever take Will and Kate seriously as mental health advocates, I would need some demonstration that they recognize that they had learning to do themselves, some acknowledgement that maybe that's already happened, rather than kind of sitting up on high and telling us that this is a problem that only relates to other people. Does that make sense? As I said, Harry and Meghan will also be out and about later today for a summit on mental health in the digital space in New York. Check my page later for more details on that.
Family meeting. Just wanted to share. In a video before, I said Meghan Markle is culturally relevant. Let me explain why. She is culturally relevant because just by being who she is, she exposes 3 major issues that will be the downfall of the monarchy. The first is they have a racial problem. Yes. Their racial problem is historic, it is systemic, it is cultural. No? Then why is it when they were going to celebrate British Black History Month for the first time since its inception, they went to Wales? I've had several conversations with Black Britons. Their comment to me was, Wales is safe for them because there is not a big population of Black people. There's a larger population of the Windrush generation in London, but they know they're not as popular in London. So they went to Wales, where there's a smaller population, and had this quote-unquote charm offensive. I call it using Black people as props. What is also very interesting is the same day that announcement was made, this article saying less than half of Black Britons feel proud to be British, landmark study says. A portion of the article reads, campaigners have described the findings as a wake-up call and further evidence of the chronic level of racial disparities that Black Britons face in the UK. Again, this is the sentiment of this monarch's country. The second thing her presence highlights is the family's relationship with the media. And it looks at how the family seems to be complicit with how she has been written about and discussed in the media. It also highlights some backroom deals that have been going on. Anyone want to talk about? Her presence also highlights the importance of the nations within the Commonwealth realm that are still necessary to the monarchy. I find it very ironic that on Commonwealth Day this year, Charles made the statement that the Commonwealth is a family. And do you really think these people are not watching how members of the royal family have treated Meghan Markle? And there's no correlation to how they feel as though they are viewed? Again, racism, systemic historic, the devaluation of Black bodies. By the way, Charles has said that the Commonwealth is a priority for him. Right, okay. Well, then Kenya should have been his first scheduled stop as king, not Paris, where his ex-wife tragically died. And it is theorized he could not have married his little friend if she were still alive. With going to Kenya first, it would set the precedent, the historic nature of when the mother became queen, recognizing that. Also, the current state of I'm here, I'm king, and setting the agenda for the future and making those countries a priority. That didn't happen. Again, another missed opportunity because it seems as though Black bodies are nothing more than props. Third, relevance. They're in a quandary of relevance because if Meghan Markle and Prince Harry can be global statesmen, humanitarians, and philanthropists without taking a dime of the UK taxpayer money, then why exactly is the monarchy necessary? If it's to say that they are ceremonial, okay, well, there's some ceremonies they still haven't been showing up for. So again, Why are they relevant? This is why I think Meghan Markle is culturally relevant for the monarchy in this moment in time, as they are weighing how they move forward. And if UK is weighing if they will move forward with them. And final thoughts. She is also culturally relevant because of her racial diversity, the awareness of the browning of historically white spaces, and recognition of the global majority who are more brown. Secondly, she is still standing after enduring a dysfunctional, toxic family and the media. She resonates with nearly everyone that transcends race, class, social status, creed, color, and even territory. She is a humanitarian and a philanthropist. Some of you will be mad, but I'm going to say it anyway. She is this generation's Princess Diana.
More context on this painting. So this is one of Willie and Katie's most favorite paintings because they actually put it in one of the rooms of their apartment at Kensington Palace. They loved it so very much that it has pride of place in one of their main salons. So the painting is titled The Negro Page. That's the title of this painting in their home, right? It is of an enslaved black child in their home. And not just in their home, in the home where they hosted the first Black American president and his wife. You can see, once again from my previous post, the label is right behind that lamp, which is right behind Michelle. And because of the invisible contract that Willie and Katie utilized to their benefit, all the articles and the fallout after this were super positive for them. Here's one article, how Kensington Palace aides, I call them court jesters or courtiers, hid nameplate on painting with the word Negro on it, just moments before William and Kate entertained the Obamas. So here's one article that is very pro Willie and Katie, obviously, written by Marina Hyde. Okay. She goes on to explain why it's okay, from her perspective, to have that painting up, because lots of people have these types of things. She talks about her family and their racism. So this is about all I can stomach from the research. So let's just end with the greeting that the Obamas received. Wait for it. Tell me what you think.
This and this are part of a calculated PR campaign designed to rehabilitate Prince Andrew in the eyes of the public. This campaign has been going on since the allegations came out, when the Queen made strategic outdoor photo opportunities with him. It has kicked into high gear since her death. He was allowed to walk with his family in and out of church. He was allowed to stand vigil over his mother. He was allowed to wear ceremonial robes and sit in the third row at coronation. Because unlike Harry, he is loyal. He hasn't written a book. He hasn't given any more interviews. And his primary concern is to protect the monarchy. There are rumors he is getting more assistance than the palace is saying, that he still gets meals from Windsor Castle, and the palace groundskeepers and gardening team continue to maintain the grounds around Royal Lodge. What else are they helping him maintain? Even his friends say it's not unusual for debts to die with your parents. And we know Queen Elizabeth had a soft spot for him, and he was almost certainly in her will, which is sealed for over 100 years. He is also buying and selling property. He sold a Swiss chalet for $22 million, which he still owed about $11 million on, and bought a London property for about $9 million. The sharpest tool in this campaign of rehabilitation is the comparison to Harry. Andrew is continually put in photographs next to Harry. In articles comparing their popularity, they are continually compared to each other as though what they have done is remotely comparable. Prince Andrew has benefited immensely from this comparison. It makes what Harry did seem so much worse. And it makes what Andrew did seem not that bad. This comparison puts these two actions on equal footing, and it drives home the point that the absolute worst thing that you can do as a royal is tell the truth about what it's like to be a royal. If we knew the truth, we probably wouldn't want them to still be royal. But until then, or until the British public get fed up with not knowing where all this money is coming from or going to, Andrew will continue to live in his very large and expensive house with all of the trappings that come with that. Horses and sporting events and all of the Windsor Castle catered meals he could want.
Thank you, my bestie, my queen. In light of the fact that California's Governor Gavin Newsom has appointed LaFonza Butler to Dianne Feinstein's seat ahead of the 2024 election, I decided that maybe we should check in with the British media. From the Daily Mail, Gavin Newsom chooses Democratic strategist and Emily's List president LaFonza Butler to replace Senator Dianne Feinstein, despite Meghan Markle's name being in the mix as a definite long shot. What? You created this rumor. The article that ran yesterday didn't even have proof that she was considering a Senate run. And this is technically an appointment in a special election. This is not even the 2024 Senate race. And yet, but rather than picking Markle, Newsom went for Butler. What do you mean instead of picking Markle? We don't even know she was in the running. And let's briefly talk about why Gavin Newsom would have never even had Meghan Markle on his radar. This is no offense to Meghan and the work that she's done, but Gavin Newsom is on the radar as a future presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. He's also going to be debating Ron DeSantis on Fox News in November, which is legitimately my Super Bowl. If you are considering your long-term career, you are not going to appoint someone to Dianne Feinstein's seat who has no political experience. You are going to appoint, he said he was going to appoint a black woman with vast political experience and ties to larger organizations. You're going to go with the Emily's List president and someone who has stood up for unions. Meghan Markle is going to be a great campaign surrogate if she chooses to endorse one of the 2024 candidates. She is going to be able to help fundraise and bring attention to the candidates. There is a role for Meghan Markle. But the fact of the matter is you created a pseudo event here, because any excuse to shit on Meghan Markle, you will do. Report on some real news, or at least learn how US politics works.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.